Okay, so the neobank industry is growing at a ridiculous rate. Last year, it was valued at an estimated 47 billion US dollars, and by 2030, it's estimated to reach $2 trillion. That's about 4 times the value of Facebook or the GDP of Brazil. And this exponential growth means a lot of new accounts opening and ultimately a lot of people benefiting from neobanks. Also, in case you're wondering what a neobank is, and no, it's not a character from The Matrix.
There is no spoon.
It's basically a fintech that specializes in online banking and doesn't have any physical branches. Starling, Chime, Revolut, and Monzo are all considered neobanks. And in the UK, we often refer to them as online or digital banks, and sometimes they're also referred to as challenger banks because of the way they're challenging traditional high street banks such as Barclays, Chase, and HSBC. As of April 2022, so right now, it's reported that there are now 249 neobanks in the world, with the split being relatively even, although Europe and North America have the largest share. And as this industry grows and naturally becomes more competitive, neobanks are having to find ways to differentiate themselves. And this has led to an emergence of providers catering for specific groups of people who, in some cases, have been forgotten about or just undervalued by their traditional bank. For example, Majority Bank, who I recently reviewed, are geared specifically to helping migrants in the US, and to cater for this demographic of people, they even offer customer service in Spanish, as well as fee-free international calls through their app. Then there's Nerve. They're specifically for musicians and basically provide a business bank account for anyone that makes money in music. While their app allows you to do typical day-to-day banking like any other provider, it also has a tool where artists can collaborate with other musicians to build their networks as well as their bank accounts. And this leads me to the first thing you should ask yourself when choosing a neobank. How is it going to improve your life? Let's say you're in the UK and looking to save some money. If so, then Monzo has some great savings features. Or if you're in the US and you're looking for a fee-free overdraft and perhaps help with improving your credit score, then Chime would be perfect for you. So have a think about what your needs may be, and always check to see if the neobank you're considering is going to be able to satisfy those needs. Just because the title of neobank includes the word bank doesn't actually mean that the provider is a licensed bank. Licensed banks most of the time have measures in place to protect their customers' money in case they were to go bankrupt. In the UK, banks are FSCS protected, and in the US, FDIC insured. This basically means that deposits up to £85,000 or $250,000 are protected and will be returned to you if the bank were to go bust. In the US, to provide this insurance, neobanks partner with larger financial institutions such as JP Morgan Chase and Wells Fargo. Now, because not all neobanks are licensed as banks, they are therefore unable to provide such protection. And Revolut are a great example of this. In certain European countries, including Lithuania, Poland, and recently Ireland, Revolut is licensed as a bank, but in the UK, Revolut is not a bank, and therefore deposits aren't FSCS protected. And this is the reason why, in our opinion, at least in the UK, Revolut is a great secondary account. You can still benefit from the array of services and niche products they provide, but perhaps don't go depositing your entire wealth. While it's unlikely they'll actually go bust, you just never know what might happen. And neobanks will always disclose whether or not they offer protection. So ask yourself, is this something you want from your neobank? And if so, then just check their website for confirmation. Also, if you're in the US, it's always good to double check whether the partner bank is legitimate, and the FDIC has a great tool called BankFind. For example, at the footer of the Majority Bank website, it says they're partnered with Sutton. And a quick check of BankFind shows me that Sutton is a legitimate bank that's FDIC insured. Back in the day, if you had a banking related issue, you would just pop down to your local branch or perhaps make a phone call to customer support, which weirdly now feels dated. But because neobanks don't have physical branches or in some cases telephone numbers, they are thought of as not being the best when it comes to customer support. Obviously, having to employ humans to resolve customer queries comes at a cost, so instead, neobanks ensure their FAQ section is really well detailed, and they also invest heavily in AI-driven chatbots to filter queries online before a human being actually does the interacting. Although you can typically get through to someone on a live chat quite easily, and in my experience at least, have queries resolved. However, if you want to be able to speak to someone over the phone, then you do need to check to see if this is available. Starling and Chime, for example, both have telephone numbers specifically for customer support, while Revolut doesn't. Although Revolut does have a number that you can call to block your card, and also be told to head over to their website if you want to speak to a human.
Hey there, and welcome to Revolut. Just to let you know, this phone line is completely automated.
If, like me, you're easily frustrated by a lack of customer support, then utilize websites like Trustpilot just to get a feel of what people have to say about the customer service of their neobank. Using Trustpilot and the Apple and Google app stores is a really good way to see how well regarded a neobank is by their customers. Before you make your decision, I definitely recommend just briefly browsing their reviews to see if you notice any patterns. Do people have trouble getting through to customer service? Are there delays in signing up for an account, or are accounts being closed for no reason? And this is unfortunately the reality and risk of banking with a neobank, as they don't have physical locations, and identity checks and customer queries are all done online or over the phone, and obviously this can often become backlogged and delayed. But there are also many perks available when using a neobank, such as low-cost banking or fee-free overdraft facilities, and quite often fantastic online customer support. And whether you choose a traditional bank or a neobank, what you have to consider is how well will they serve you and your needs? And will your money be protected? And how well are they positioned to help their customer queries? Hope you enjoyed today's video. Drop me a comment if you plan to open an account with a neobank, or if you're currently banking with one, as I'm fascinated by the industry and I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.